All right, now let's go back to cinema and let's talk Wolfman.
Oh,
So Sean,
Wolfman. Yeah,
yes,
Wolfman.
Wolfman. So Sean, tell us about Wolfman.
Well, there's been a few.
While I go
Okay,
see why my daughter's camera stopped working.
okay. So what we've got with Wolfman is we have. It starts off with this son. They're sort of in the Ontario, not Ontario. What am I talking about? What's the Oregon sort of wilderness? And he's they're out in the wild. He's with his dad. He lives out in the wild. I guess he's about 11 or 12 years old, probably a bit younger, maybe 7 or 8. But so before the film starts, you've got this little synopsis about, oh, some people have seen this, mysterious, a bit of folklore. Anyway, they're out hunting, and his father's a bit of a bully, a bit nasty. But this thing comes, and they go up in a tower, in a like a fire tower, and this thing you don't really see it, but this thing's like growling and hunting and all that. And then, sort of, the father shoots this thing and it runs off, and then you switch to 30 years in the future, and the boy, he's got married, he's got a little family, he's got a girl, he's got a thing, and he gets this letter that comes through the post, and it says, oh, we've decided that your father's dead. Well, he hasn't been in touch with his father for these 30 years. So, and it said that, oh, you've got his house and you've got you've got all his possessions. So they decide to drive up like they would to see what's in the house and see the house and all that. And then, gets a bit, he gets a bit lost. He says, oh, I don't remember any of this. Of course, there's no phone signals because they're out in the wild. So you can't sort of phone anybody or use a GPS. And then they see the shadow in one of those fire towers, and the guy comes down. He goes, "Oh yeah, no, your dad. We haven't seen your dad for 30 years." And then he gets in the truck. He says, "Oh, I'll take you to the house." And then all of a sudden, this thing appears in the road, and the truck goes off the road, and this thing drags one of the people away, and they leg it to the house, and basically, there's sort of like a little bit of a siege in the house. They wonder what's going on. So that's basically how it is. And yeah, this is quite an interesting film because the director of this, I think he did The Invisible Man, which I didn't like much.
Yes, Lee Winnell.
And so this, what can we say about this? It was interesting. I found this more interesting than The Invisible Man, because I went to see it with Happy John, and Happy John said, "Oh, it's got really bad reviews. It's really rubbish. This." Anyway, he came along.
In case this is the first time you listen to us, Happy John is a little bit of an ironic nickname for our friend.
Yeah. So that's the story. So basically, what happens? There's a bit of an altercation, and the father of this family happens to get a scratch. So what happens when some sort of creature scratches you, or you get a scratch or a bite or whatever by
In a film called Wolfman.
in the film called Wolfman, you can imagine what happens. So he's obviously slowly starts to transform, and his daughter's there saying, "Oh, what's wrong with dad? What's wrong with dad?" And yeah, I really like this because the mother, who's a bit of a, shall we say, well, she sort of comes to the fore, if you like. She's like, yeah, okay, I got her. She starts off in the film as being a little bit nah, but she actually comes to the fore when it comes to the important bits. She becomes what's the word? She becomes
Protective mother bear.
yeah. So yeah, let's protect it. She's the one that gets the kitchen knives and stuff and whatever. So and basically
Yep.
it turns into you being chased, running around, getting high, getting low. Getting
Final girl
yeah.
movie kind of thing.
It's a bit bloody. There's some sort of scenes in it where they sort of catch them. Well, no, that'd be a spoiler if I give that away. But sometimes, yeah. But wounded animals do certain things sometimes, don't they? Which, if they're trapped, which is a thing of
Yeah,
nature. Yes.
I think for me the main thing is that at some point there's gonna be a wolf. There's gonna be a wolf. There's gonna be blood. There's gonna be
Yeah.
screaming, and there's gonna be running through the woods. There needs to be running through the woods.
There's lots of running through the woods. There's lots of going high and going low and going across polypropylene tunnels, which hold the weight for a certain amount of time, but not quite as much time as I think they would be if I know polypropylene tunnels. But anyway,
Yeah.
cut a long story short, yeah, it's pretty good. It's a bit yeah, I don't know what the word is. It's an average film. I didn't dislike it. I wasn't me huffy. Oh, that's really stupid.
Which is a recommendation from
Yeah,
Shaun.
it's in
I
itself.
didn't
Yeah.
dislike it. It's definitely a recommendation from Shaun.
So I guess on the whole, for me, this would be a standard three. Straight down the middle three. It was okay. It was entertaining. I didn't dislike it. Perhaps a
All
little
right.
bit long, maybe, but yeah. So that's 3 stars from me.
3 stars from Shaun for Wolfman,
Mm.
which is, I mean, because these films, they're Universal movies, and there was a time when they were going to do like a shared universe, but they kind of jumped the gun a bit, saying we're going to do Invisible Man and Frankenstein and this and that, and this is, I think Lee Whannell is on like a one-man mission to make modern versions of all these sort of like Universal horror movies. So he's done the Invisible Man. He's not doing Wolfman. And based on what Shaun said about the Invisible Man, the last time he tried to do one of these things, this is a much better result.
Yeah.
It's a much better result.
But for me, I mean, for me, so yeah, it was, yeah, I didn't dislike it.